1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need a microphone. Oh, look, this is a budget that is rebuilding South Australia. This is a 7-year plan to date by Labor that is about acknowledging that we need to ensure that we can take action now for the future. It's simple. We have to put in place a transport plan for a decade that will give us a world-class, modern, efficient, clean transport system that will enable South Australians to live and commute in this state in a way that you should be able to commute in a modern, sophisticated economy.
Salisbury expect to be riding on these electrified trains, and I'm talking about people who are not in your electorate of Port Adelaide, who seem to be getting a bit of fast tracking going on the trams.
Well, Matthew, come on, you know, we're trying to have a new relationship, you and I, and if we're going to have a new relationship, we've got to actually be fair and balanced.
No, but
hang on, Matthew. Matthew, this is not an interview on 891 and 830. This is a respected audience of journos, and I'll answer the question. I am not giving the people of Port Adelaide special treatment. Quite the opposite. If you were paying attention, which you clearly weren't, the Port Adelaide start date for the Outer Harbour line is not until 2010-11. The electrification of the Noarlunga line begins in 2008-9, this financial year. So the first priority of this government is for the electrification of existing rail networks is Noarlunga. Okay?
So when will they work? I just want to know when they'll operate.
Just got to let me answer the question. The first one to start is Noarlunga for electrification. That will commence operation in 13-14. Okay? Outer Harbour will commence in 2010-11 and it will start in 2012-13, a year earlier. Why? Because it is not along a corridor and it's not as complicated and re-sleeping has already occurred. I mean, I'd have to ask the engineers about the end dates, but I guess the Noarlunga line is a longer line, a more complicated line. And the tram to the entertainment centre begins immediately, and that'll be operational by 2010, which will allow us to bring the park and ride system in. So, in fact, West Lakes doesn't begin until 13-14, and Port Adelaide Semaphore, which you suggest that I've given some special benefit to, is the last cab off the rank. Doesn't begin until 2015-16 and ends in 2018-19. So my guess is I anticipated that type of question, and that's why Port Adelaide and Semaphore are last cab off the rank. No, not at all. The O-Bahn is one of the great pieces of public infrastructure. It is about the most expensive light rail system you can have anywhere in the world. That's why us, and I think somewhere in Frankfurt Airport, is about the only 2 places in the world that have an O-Bahn. It was built back a long time ago, very sturdy and will remain for decades to come, but you wouldn't replicate it because it's so expensive. Nor would you replace it.
With the rail line down to Seaford, there's been talk of wanting to extend it from Noarlunga to Seaford. Again, I didn't see anything about that. Has that been reconsidered?
No, I can answer that. No, that hasn't been. That is a very, very expensive project, and it also requires a level of engineering and bridge work that has a lot of problems associated with it that I'm advised. But that is not planned for in this budget. Whether that is a feature of future years, I can't say. But you know, there is a limit. And people will also know, those that commute on the Belair line, we're not electrifying the Belair line. I think I outlined that earlier, because you can't run the electric cables in the tunnels. And the freight line, I'm advised, is very close physically to the commuter line, and it would be very problematic, if not impossible, to have the electric cables and infrastructure in place. So we'll continue to run that as a diesel line. We are re-sleeping that line to make it a safer and faster movement. But at this point in time, and there's also some federal government studies being undertaken into some of those freight loops, it may at some point be electrified if the engineering capability is there to do it.